Om Jai Swaha Mata.
On a daily basis, after our invocation, we glorify Bhagwan Shankar specially. Tonight is no exception. I have explained that Shivaji, his worship brings into our lives dispassion, spiritual dispassion, vairagya, without which we cannot reach to Sri Ram, who symbolizes state of spiritual perfection. Devotion cannot come to the heart unless there is the power of tyag, to let go all of these things that bind us to this world. We try to achieve such a state through the glorification of Bhagwan Shankar. And tonight I want to invite Pandit Dr. Umesh, who will lead us in this glorification of Bholinath. Try to visualize Deen Dayalu Kripa Sagar Bhakta Vatsal, Jatadhari Gangadhar Chandramauli Trayambak Neelakant, Nagavadana, Tishuradhari. Repeat in your minds, devotee, Shadakshar mantra. Panchakshar mantra with Omkar Pranav, Om Namaha Shivaya. Let's concentrate on Shivaji.
दिमिक दिमिक डमरू कर बाजे, दिमिक दिमिक डमरू कर बाजे, प्रेम मगन नाचे भोला भोला। दिमिक दिमिक डमरू कर बाजे, दिमिक दिमिक डमरू कर बाजे, प्रेम मगन नाचे भोला भोला। दिमिक दिमिक सिंगीनाद बजावत गावत, सिंगीनाद बजावत गावत, लत करही बदली झोला भोला। दिमिक दिमिक डमरू कर बाजे, प्रेम मगन नाचे भोला भोला। दिमिक दिमिक नाग फनन सो करत आरती, नाग फनन सो करत आरती, देव देव गति अनमोला भोला। दिमिक दिमिक भाल चंद्र सिर गंगा लहरे, भाल चंद्र सिर गंगा लहरे, हाथ लिए भाल की गोला भोला। दिमिक दिमिक डमरू कर बाजे, प्रेम मगन नाचे भोला भोला। दिमिक दिमिक डमरू कर बाजे, प्रेम मगन नाचे भोला भोला।
Boli Shri Mahapati Mahadev Ki Jai. Devotees, tonight I'm going to take a discourse from Aranyakand, the third volume of Sri Ramcharitamanas. We have been advised time again of the Mahavakyas of the Vedas, Aham Brahmasmi, Chidananda Rupaha Shivoham Shivoham, Ishwar Ans Jiva Vinashi, Soham Tattvamasi. These wonderful statements that all point in one direction, that who are we and what are we? We are the divine spark embodied. As was mentioned previously, I refer to it as Ansh Avatar. Each of us part manifestation of that divinity. The problem is that we don't realize it. The objective of life is to come to this realization, Aham Brahmasmi. As such, different pathways have been given to us. I explained on a previous night when the Lord manifested himself in 4 forms, Sri Ram, Lakshman, Bharata, Shatrughan. I told you that these 4 represent those 4 pathways. Sri Ram, Gyan Yoga, Lakshman, Dhyan Yoga, Bharat, Bhakti Yoga, Shatrughan, Karam Yoga. Any one of these 4 pathways, based upon our aptitude, our temperament, we choose to practice, we can reach to the ultimate state. Tonight we speak of Bhakti. Bhakti, devotees, to put it simply, what is Bhakti? Firstly, let me say that we are mistaken to believe that all these actions we're doing, we say this is Bhakti. These are actions aimed at bringing into our lives Bhakti. Bhakti is the culmination of all these sacrifices. What is Bhakti? Swami Vivekananda nicely he put it, the kind of love that people have for each other. Well, in love relationships, if you have that intense love for God, without any expectations, so to speak, that will amount to what we may term to be Bhakti in a simple form. Bhakti really is pure love, unadulterated, unselfish. Now, if we follow Ramayana, we would see Sharbhang Rishi. He performed various acts, yam, niyam, yagya, brat, sangyam, different things he did. And before he burned himself in front of the very eyes of Sri Ram, he said, Lord, in my life I practice all these. I am offering all these to you. I want you to bless me with Bhakti. So, in his opinion, he had not yet attained that state of Bhakti. All the actions, these actions are aimed at purifying us, relieving our distresses, etc., helping us to climb to higher levels, so we can identify with our true nature. And may I say that there is no time at all that we can experience pure bliss unless we come to that state. In between, we have sukh, happiness. But common sense will tell you where there is sukh, there is dukh. If you pray for happiness, you automatically pray for unhappiness. It's a world of duality. Where there is night, there is day. As I explained again previously, Brahma Prapanch, where there is Brahma Prapanch, where space-time causation, name and form, dominant factors, we have duality. And therefore, once in this world of duality you're caught up, if there is positive, there is always negative. A stick always has 2 ends. You cannot have a stick with 1 end. So, rather than seek that, which is transitory, fleeting, the so-called happiness we seek, why not seek that ultimate state of Brahmanand, Chidanand, as the scriptures tell us? So, identifying with that supreme is the ultimate objective in life. And Bhakti, this pathway, is one of the ways. When you are blessed with Bhakti, there's only pure bliss, pure bliss. Man should not waste his life in idle pursuits. So devotees, Bhakti is really, really very, very important in life. Devotions. And as I prepare to go into the Katha, I would like to reflect upon the advice of the sages, that to have some quality in our life, real substance in our life, for life to become a divine song, really sublime, it is said life is nothing but an empty dream unless one realizes the Supreme. That realization is necessary, devotees. I'm trying to present you some compelling reasons why we need to pursue this path of devotion. The sages tell us, O mana Ram sani hona, mana Ram sani hona, mana Ram sani hona, mana Ram sani hona. बरे भाग्य मनुष्य तनु पाया, बरे भाग्य मनुष्य तनु पाया, वृथा स्वास्मत खोना, वृथा स्वास्मत खोना, ओ मन राम सनी ही होना. Oh man, try to develop affection for that Lord. Turn to Him. Out of the 8,400,000 species of creation, the human form is the best. Even the devatas will gladly assume a human form. Having been born as a human being, you are blessed. But don't waste your birth and idle pursuits. Oh man, instead, turn to that Lord. Relentlessly pursue Him. There are certain dangers with the human form. Listen, oh man. नगरी में चोर बसत है, नगरी में चोर बसत है, हरदम चौकस रहना, हरदम चौकस रहना, ए मन राम सनी ही होना. The body is compared to a city. In cities we have, as in villages, many thieves reside. In the city of the human body, hate, anger, lust, greed, jealousy, rivalry, avarice, etc. They run rampant over the city of the body. There is no peace. There is no stability. There is no comfort. There is only fear, apprehension. What you need to do, oh man, when thieves run rampant, you need to put them behind bars, incarcerate them. How do you do that? Listen. जहन के साबुन लेकर निसलिया, जहन के साबुन लेकर निसलिया, अंतर का मैला धोना, अंतर का मैला धोना, ए मन राम सनी ही होना. When the body is dirty, one uses soap as a detergent. When the mind is dirty, what do we use? Gyan ki sabun, the soap of wisdom, the detergent of wisdom. On a daily basis, as the farmers would meticulously pluck out weeds from among the seeds they had sown, so too, each of us on a daily basis, do introspection, critical self-analysis, pluck out the weeds of vices from among the seeds we have sown, purify the screen of the mind. Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mat, Matsarya, Sangyakau, as Devi Ma related to Himalaya in Devi Gita, Devi Bhagavatam. Get rid of these impurities, incarcerate them, purify the screen of the mind, open the eyes of the mind. Mana mandir kho, tu mana mandir kho. When you do that, what follows? Nirbhaya Ram Bhakti Rasa Chaku, Nirbhaya Ram Bhakti Rasa Chaku. बेगी करालो गवना, बेगी करालो गवना, ए मन राम सनी ही होना, मन राम सनी ही होना, मन राम सनी ही होना, मन राम सनी साधु राम सनी होना, संतो राम सरी की हूँ। Having purified the skin of the mind and fearlessly nirbhay, Ram Bhakti Rasa Chakho says, taste that substance of devotion to the Lord. That substance, when one tastes it, is indescribable, inexpressible. You become like a dumb man who can eat the best of dishes but can't express it in words. Devotees, all this we can say, but the example is the highest precept. An example can point out to us what the pathway of bhakti really is all about. But before I go to give you this example, let me say that bhakti can be of three types. There is more bhakti, blind following. There is gyan bhakti, understand why you do what you do, enlightened ritualism, as we have termed it. And there is advesh or vidvesh bhakti, devotion through confrontation. If a person can't love, the first two will be true love. The last one, if you can't love but you could hate intensely, you can also go to God. So to verify or to clarify that, Ravan, Kans, Hiranyaksh, Hiranyakasipu, they were all devotees, but they were devotees through confrontation. And to substantiate the point, in the 18th chapter of the Gita, Bhagavan Sri Krishna said, think of me constantly. 1. Worship me, bow down to me, sing my praises, all these different actions, you shall come to me. Ravan hated Sri Ram, so too did Kans, Hiranyakasipu, others, with such intensity that that Lord was in their minds day and night. As we all know, when we love someone intensely, that object of love is in the mind all the time. So too, if we hate someone intensely, that object is always in the mind. And what is said, as a man thinketh, so he becometh. Ravan, thinking of Sri Ram day and night, he merged with Sri Ram. Hiranyaksh, Hiranyakasipu, Kans. The point is that they thought of God all the time, which is more than we can say that we do. We think of God sometimes. Even when we sit to pray to Him, many times we don't think of Him. Isn't that so? Be honest. So devotees, it all depends upon our temperament. If I can show love, then I go the path of more bhakti, gyan bhakti. But I must emphasize that the best of the three is gyan bhakti. It's good to understand why you do what you do. Don't do anything blindly. And in this age and in this time, more bhakti is not required. John, how many years ago, 60-something years ago, when our ancestors came from India, blindly they held on to the various practices and so on. That blind following served this purpose. You give them credit for that. But now, we don't have the same challenges that they have. Therefore, we need to look at the whole situation differently, different perspective, and try to rise to a higher level, Gyan Bhakti. Understand why you do what you do. Do not follow blindly. If you follow blindly, you can easily be caught up with the wrong set of people, doing the wrong things. You self-destruct. Don't follow blindly. God has blessed each of us, bari bhag manush tanupava. We have what is called the antahakaran, inner equipment. Ahankar, manas, buddhi, chit. According to Shaivism, they don't count chit. Buddhi is part of, chit is part of buddhi. So let's say buddhi, manas, ahankar. What are these three devotees? These three are the inner equipment which we need to use to analyze, to critically analyze ourselves, to do introspection, to pluck out the weeds of vices. But I need to use them. And we all are blessed with them. Everybody is blessed with these powers, this inner equipment. But the question is, how many of us use these equipment, these three equipment wisely? How many of us? And to clarify it, devotees, what is the difference between them? I've used an example. The manas, an idea hits the mind, let me go yagya tonight. That is the manas, the mind functioning. Then the buddhi comes into play. Why should I go yagya tonight? Well, when I go to that yagya, I learn a lot from the pandit, so I'm going to go. Or when I go to that yagya, that pandit aggravates me, so I'm not going. The buddhi analyzes based upon what you perceive through your experience. Then you decide, okay, I'm going to the yagya because I'm going to benefit. Then the ahankar says, I went to the yagya. Or I didn't go to the yagya, as the case may be. So these three, they are different, separate functions, but very, very important in any one of us. And little do we know that almost involuntarily we practice these three conditions get to work. Very, very few of us realize that. But if we can do it voluntarily, as I explained last night, breaking the bow. Breaking the bow symbolizes taking charge of all involuntary actions. Make them voluntary. You control heartbeat. You control breathing. Control all the thinking processes. If you can't do it, something else or somebody else will control them for you. And then we end up in a real problem. So devotees, all these very, very important conditions we are blessed with. And we need to use them. We need to use them. So here, where bhakti is concerned, we have to get to work, purify the screen of the mind, get rid of all negativities, and focus upon that divine. He makes a difference. There was a great sage whose name was Sutikshan Muni. Sutikshan Muni, devotees, had this urge for spiritual development. And here, let me point out, I hope I don't overload the fuse, your fuse, my fuse functioning okay. Devotees, people speak of the 14 worlds, 7 lower planes and 7 higher planes. And many believe that these are physical places. And I say, no, they are not. They are different states of consciousness, different levels. There are 7 levels of ignorance and 7 levels of jnana. There are 4 states of consciousness, Jagrat, Swapna, Susupti, and Turiya. Jagrat, Swapna, and Susupti, waking stage, deep sleep, or dream state and deep sleep, these 3 consist of the lower forms of consciousness. And they are subdivided to get 7. So there is Mahajagrat, Bijagrat, Jagrat. Jagrat, Swapna, Swapna, and Swapna, Jagrat. And then Susupti. Now, you realize we can't explain all that in one night. We're wasting time. I'm just trying to create an awareness in your minds. And also, what the awareness is all about. What exists inside of us. And, also, how much do we know of what exists inside of us? Or the extent of our ignorance. How little we know. How little we know. And I'm just scratching the surface. So devotees, these 7 lower forms of creation. Then you have Shubhicha, Vicharana, Tanumanasi, Sattva-Pati, Samshakti, Padartha Bhavana, Turiya, high state of absorption. These 7 levels of Gyan. The first level of Gyan, why I'm saying all this to you, is called Shubhicha. And what is Shubhicha? Shubhicha is when an intense yearning comes to the heart to rise beyond the material things of this world. You are fed up of the buffeting of the waters of sensuality. You're fed up of it. And therefore you turn towards divinity. You begin to question, where am I? Where have I come from? What is my purpose? Where is my destination? What is my journey? You begin to question. And in a spiritual sense, that yearning, that urge, that craving begins for divinity. And I don't mean a vaps. Understand what I mean? Sometimes problems hit people. They fall flat. Oh God, why am I here? Oh God, I want to come to you. When things get good, hit the bar. Forget God. These things happen. So we're not talking about in between a vaps hitting you. It might be an attitude that is developed inside of you. And I'm saying this to you again, devotees, not because I like to talk. I like to talk. But there's another reason why I'm saying this to you. It's because, as I keep saying, when I read my scriptures, it is like I hold up a spiritual mirror before you. I keep saying, when you leave home, everybody looks into the mirror. You want to make sure you're dressed properly. Everybody looking pretty. When you come to the yagya, I hold up a spiritual mirror before you in which you see your insides. And only you will see it. God knows it. And I may know a little bit. Based upon if I want to know. I won't tell you how. But devotees, what you have to look at this mirror and see the extent of deviant behavior on your part, on each person's part. And then see if I can take corrective measures. This is the purpose. So you learn, you see a reflection of what is in your inside, and then you can do something about it. And only you could do something about it. So devotees, you have to understand what the whole objective is. This is one of the purposes of a yagya. In addition to socialization, other parts of it, this is important for spiritual development. And therefore, each person needs to listen carefully and analyze where you are at. You have to decide this. So the question is, are you at any stage of Shubhechha yet? Do you ever think at any point in time that, Lord, I really want you, I want nothing else but you? And I don't mean by verbs. I mean genuinely so. If not, then you have not yet reached the first level of Gyan. You have not yet reached there. You're still in Agyan, ignorance. And devotees, you can compound it more. Agyan, ignorance, shrouds Gyan. So what we need to do is to remove Agyan, and Gyan shines forth. And there are Agyan is fivefold. Agyan, fivefold. So then I'm going to put to you again, so let's analyze. Are we in ignorance? Analyze for yourself and tell me. But you don't have to tell me, tell yourselves. Agyan, fivefold. Mistaking the unreal for the real. Now we could define. Unreal means that which is changeable. Unreal, unchangeable. The real is unchangeable. The unreal, changeable. So let's get it clear. Unreal, changeable. Real, unchangeable. If I mistake the unreal for the real, that's ignorance. And analyze devotees, what in this world is real? Meaning, what is unchangeable? Everything changes. When I look at myself in the mirror, I say, boy, look at how he changed. From what I was when I was a little boy coming up. Some say I get more handsome, no, I don't know. Yeah. Devotees, you change. The body changes. Everything changes. Everything changes. This is a world of unreality. There's only one unchangeable. That's Supreme Purush. So, most of us, even when we pray to God, it's for what? God, give me more money. Give me a home. Give me this. Give me that. You're praying for the unrealities of this world. That is not the correct thing. That is Agyan, ignorance. Think about it. So devotees analyze it from Vedantic perspective. The first level of Agyan, mistaking the unreal for the real. Mistaking the ephemeral for the eternal. Now, I can't explain all this, then I won't finish my katha. But I'm putting it to you, awareness. Mistaking the painful for the pleasurable. Mistaking the impure for the pure. And mistaking that which should be rejected as being that which should be achieved. And you analyze closely, every one of us without exception is caught up in some of these, if not all of these. We are in Agyan. This is why we can't come to that point where Shubhechha, that deep longing for divinity. And sometimes you want to know, people want to know, Baba talking about where is he? Well, I can tell you, I'm getting there. I'm getting there. As you get older, you really, really want to get closer and closer to that divine. And you are tested in so many ways. When you think you're really getting on nicely in life, bap, God give you grandchildren. Let me see where you go now. You fall flat on your face again. Always something to pull you back. But then he helps you. When your grandchildren start to get bigger, they don't take you on again anymore. So then you say, all right, okay, I'm alone. Let me go. So he helps you along the pathway. But at some point in time, we all have to go to that level, devotees. So from my perspective, yes, many times there's intense yearning, believe me, and it's getting stronger and stronger. Sometimes you will realize that when I do my bhajans and so on, sometimes I break down. I didn't smoke ganja and come. No. Sometimes that feeling inside of you is so deep. And you know, there's a kind of regret and emptiness, Lord, when? When, Lord? When? And that creates a kind of sadness inside of you. You really wish you could get there. Now, devotees, all these other signposts I'm putting to you. So I'm putting all this to you because this individual we call Sutiksha Muni, he went through these phases. He reached to the point of Shubhechha, where he really wanted to identify with that Supreme.
Om Jai Swaha Mata Maya Jai Swaha Mata Tum Agni ki Shakti Tum Agni ki Shakti Tum Sachi Mata Om Jai Swaha